Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Afrogospel podcast. Today is quite an interesting episode because we're having the Agbalagbi of the Agbalagba. We will be having on the show today one half of Rooftop MCs, Soul Snatcha or Snatcha. We'll talk more about that on the show today. And because he has been in the game for over 2 decades, it looks like there's a lot to talk about. But anyway, without further ado, let's just jump right into it. Welcome, Snatcha!
Hey, what up? What's going on?
What's up? But
How
you know
doing?
the funny thing, Snatcha?
Yeah. You know when people say, the funny thing, well, what they end up saying is usually not funny. But go ahead.
Okay, now I want to spot this. But I have interviewed a lot of people. When I say a lot of people, I mean a lot, especially within the gospel music space in the past 11 years now. I have not interviewed you before. You know, I just
That's
think
true,
I'm
yeah.
now.
That's true.
I have not.
And because they are choosing now.
Okay.
That's
It
choosing.
be like say again one time. It was an
I think
Instagram
we did a
live.
full interview once.
Instagram live on one of our anniversary. We were doing something on Afrogospel, and it was our anniversary, and then we had a few people coming on the live just to talk about Afrogospel. I don't know if you remember.
Possibly.
This was like maybe 3
It would have been a
years
while.
ago. But you were just
Okay,
brief.
possibly.
Yeah,
I
so
think
you
so.
came in and you talked a little bit, just shut down the live.
Yeah. I think I remember that.
Yeah, but we haven't really sat down to like really talk about maybe music or
not really.
anything. Yeah. So this is good. History
Yeah.
has been made today.
Hey.
So Snatcha, where do we want to begin from? Because there's a lot to talk about. I know I have sat down like this with Snatcha,
Clever.
but not even in terms of the music and the history and just taking it back to the beginning and coming now to this point to see what is happening, the before, the now, and even maybe project into what's going to happen afterwards. So let's begin. First off, how did you meet Snatcha? Because you
How
guys,
did I meet Clever?
how did you meet Clever? Because you guys have been like a duo for as long as I've known you.
I think we were both in the University of Lagos. Well, I had started a group called G-Force.
Okay.
So it was me, a guy called Green, Mr. Green. There was Aisha. She's an amazing baker right now. There was Shegun Fashika. And I don't know if you know Bankole Williams, the motivational
Williams.
speaker. Well, he hates to call himself a motivational speaker. Bankole Williams. He who should I call him? Mind Doctor. One of those aspire to aspire.
Same Bankole Williams.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I know Bankole Williams. I didn't know he was the one.
Bankole was a rapper. Forget. It was dope. I mean, so we started.
Okay.
What I wanted to do was I wanted to start a rap choir. So that's why I got so many people. Then there was this girl that I liked, and she was like, "Oh, come on, meet my cousin." Okay, if my cousin raps, so I don't know. So if you can rap, we did. She said, "Just meet him now." So I met. Imagine Clever had to come and audition for me, so I just sat down. So then to give me a drink. So he came with higher education notes of his book of rhymes. So when he started to rap, I was performing Simon Cowell. In my mind, I was like, this guy rap past me. But he joined the group, and I totally forgot that I initially had a deal with his cousin that if he joins the group, we'll date. So, we just went into it, and that's how G-Force. He joined G-Force, and then a couple of years later,
So
We're
sorry,
about
what
to
year
be.
was this? Because when you say a couple of years later,
Okay,
this
well, maybe a couple is 2 years, really. So this was around G-Force was formed 1998, 99,
wow.
98.
Okay.
So, but around 2002 joined. Then around 2002, we changed the name. We're like, we wanted to take it like, look, we're not doing anything else but this.
Mm.
And of course, Bankole thought that for me saying that G-Force is what we want to do for the rest of our lives. Is basically saying you rest of you should get out. And because I was like, look, I'm ready. God is saying buy the field, sell all you have and buy the field, take the risk. So who's in? So it was only Clever that said, you know what? Then his name was God Clever.
God clever. Okay.
God Clever. So, but he later changed it to spiritually oriented, knowledge anointed.
Wow.
So it's so clever. So we now became Rooftop MCs, which because we needed a direction for where we were going, and the direction was whatever I whisper in your ear, shout it out on the rooftop.
Wow. I'm thinking now, just 1998. I mean, I'm thinking about the music terrain at the time, and there were quite a number of rap groups, like some hardcore. I mean, Mode 9 and all of those.
Those,
Yeah, from
it
up
was
north.
Mode 9, Strop Roots,
Yeah, thoroughbreds and. But I'm thinking,
Thoroughbreds.
what was it like within the gospel, the Christian space, the gospel space at this time? Were there any rappers who were like, what was the rap or hip hop scene like as far as gospel music is concerned?
Well, then the rap groups were confined to university fellowship. There was New Wine. New Wine was like the Wu-Tang Clan of rap. They were based in University of Ife. There were 9 of them. There were 9 of them. So I mean, we used to look up to New Wine back then. So there was New Wine. There was Rhymestar A.
Yes, I remember Rhymestar.
It was Rhymestar A. Rhymestar A had the single later on called Sunday in the EKY. That was basically the biggest recorded Christian music, rap music back then. So when Limo Blaze dropped Sunday in Lagos, I was like, this reminds me of Sunday in the EKY. I was like, that's nice. It felt like a bring back. It was reminiscent of that for me. So there was Recce D.
Recce D, yeah.
There was Recce D. There was so New Wine. There was G Vibes. That was Bookie Bouqui was in a group called G Vibes. Although they came out around the same time as us, but they were also in Ife. So what was happening in the space was we were going from second university to university. So we decided we're going to go out mainstream. And go mainstream, not just because when we did shock therapy, the idea for shock therapy was the music industry was sleeping as far as gospel. There was another rapper, but he was in Thoroughbreds, but he used to call himself the Fallen Saint. That's the late B Elect.
Okay.
The late B Elect was a Christian, but he used to say that, but he was the most realest person that I could relate to, even while we were doing music then, because he was like, look, I'm a Christian, but I still have this pain. I still have this thing I want to talk about. I still want to be mainstream. So we had that struggle. So yeah, later on, after we started, by the time we morphed to Rooftop MCs, another group came out called Gospel According to Rap. They're 3 plets.
G-A-2-R, yeah.
Yeah. So the fine boys,
yeah.
But it's the idea for us that, look, we can do music that will go out in the world and some people was out there and totally destroy it.
Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, because of course I remember the GA2R, that trio, and
Yeah.
you guys were duo. And for the Nigerian music space, not even Christian alone, there was something about duos, like even mainstream. It was always in twos. And I'm not just talking P Square.
Yeah.
I'm even talking like even Junior and Pretty, from the back in the, and
Monica
even
days.
Remedies were in twos first, before they became three. But
Before the dancer joined.
a lot of duos like that. Before Rooftop MCs went mainstream, do you know of any rap group or maybe any urban sounding group that was mainstream and Christian?
To be honest, no, there was none.
So I mean,
There
I
was
really wanted to have this conversation because a lot of times when I'm thinking, when I say Rooftop MCs were literally the pioneers of the urban Christian sound, going out of campuses and out of
yeah.
fellowships, going out on a mainstream level. I just wanted to be sure that every time I say that I'm correct, because I don't know of
Yeah, to be
any.
honest, there was none. I mean, I remember when Kush came out.
Kush,
The
okay.
great thing for Kush was, I mean, you won't say Kush is really hip hop or all of that. We probably call them pop. I don't know. But when they came out, they even had the machine behind them. They had T.Y. Bellow's brother, was Benga Shekefun, who just came from America with Hollywood ideologies and ideas that look, he's been in some major movies. He's hobnobbed with some major artists. So, and I mean, they took them to Abbey Road Records to record the album. They went to London. They came back, with all the funding, and they were able to, quote unquote, enter mainstream. But the idea then was radio does not play anything gospel except for Sunday.
Yeah.
And the most creative, for me, I mean, the guy that inspired me the most in Nigerian music scene was was it Dr. Martins?
Ah, yes,
Hi,
yes,
how did his
Pastor
name just fly
Martins.
from my head now? Moshi Olosha,
Pastor Martins. Yes.
Moshi Olosha, Brother Martins.
Brother Martins,
His
yeah,
song
yeah.
was the most, it took a while for me to know it was Christian. And since then, I was like, I want to make music like this. It's not in your face, not, I know my already my leave.
Yeah.
I wanted to, because we went to record our very first single called Be Afraid with the late OJB Jezreel. And, we thought it was Be Afraid. So we're still doing chill raps and all that. And he looked at us and said, what I don't like about you Christians is you take a matter, instead of attacking it, you start to rub it, you follow within the line, you're too careful, you don't want to offend anybody. Sorry. And Banjo from New One used to motivate me every time he jumps around on the tables and all that. I said, hey, so let's bring that energy. Let's, so I thought never again will anybody. I just saw myself as a gatekeeper of rap and Christian, that anytime someone says Christian music is boring or is mediocre, I take that as an attack on my office. So I retaliate. So since then, I just thought, no, I will not do a concert and they will not remember me. I will break somebody's head. I will throw something in the crowd. I will show them that we have the energy. So to answer your question, really, there was no one doing it. And yes, we decided that with shock therapy, we're going to shock the industry. Our initial direction wasn't that let's enter mainstream. It was that we have a good product. Everybody needs to hear.
Yeah.
Especially because we went to churches first and they turned it down. They're like, no, we can't. Sorry, what's this?
That's a good cue to this church matter, right? Because looking holistically at Afrogospel today, as we call it, it was almost more like the church refused it. There was this Rooftop MCs, Bookie, and all these guys, this movement. Then the church received it, embraced it, and then there was a time that the church really, really embraced the sound that you guys were bringing.
Yeah.
Midnight Crew and all this so-called in code riff raps. You get what I mean, right? They welcomed, welcomed us to the stages and all of that, and that was an era. And after a point, I don't know what happened, but maybe we can talk about it today. After a point, it seemed as though they then pushed them out again. I don't know how. I have not really sat down to process this, but it seemed as though the church then, slammed their doors against this kind of music again. And then lately it's like we're going back to that circle where the church is now accepting the sound, because of maybe they can see the result it's having even maybe young people. And now we're getting to that point where the church is now accepting it again. So let's go back to the beginning of the cycle. Before the church accepted the sound, rap, really, what was it like? What was it like before that point, and how did you transit into the point where churches were like, okay, yeah, we're Rooftop MCs?
I think we as Rooftop MCs, we didn't even make matters. They wanted to light us up with fire. So we poured kerosene on our yeah, because what Rooftop MCs did was, first of all, we took rap, which unheard of. Nobody wanted to hear it. They think it's devil's music. Then we bring rock, which devil's music. Then we brought Fuji. Satanic music, and blended everything together. And my own first line was, I used to fornicate, sometimes I masturbate. Wait. And also we were different. And we didn't know how to play church, really. I had the dreadlocks. I mean, we had other artists that could, when artists go to pastors and daddy, bless sister, and all of that. We just entered as if we lost road. Where we did? What's going on? And with my dreadlocks and everything. So we were different, and we just didn't want to be seen as that, because we felt that there's a set of people that God has sent us to, and we need to reach out to them. So it was difficult. We got to events whereby, I remember at a point in time we were banned from coming to Covenant University. Out of all the schools we were going to minister in, we got to Covenant University. They were like, oh, they saw an interview where we said we're not Christian artists, we're Christians that rap. So because of that, Rooftop MCs is not allowed to come here anymore. We're like, okay. And so another time we went to Babcock, they didn't allow us in because one of our girls was wearing jeans.
Right.
So we went to another event where we're ministering, because we started with rap. And they're like, hey. And those days, they'll put the microphone near the keyboard. We're playing our music from the keyboard, they put the microphone there. The sound was everywhere, and we'll be rapping again, so it was noise. So we had to struggle through that. But in the midst of that, I decided that, why are we pouring salt to salts? If our music is supposed to be evangelical, then what are we doing in church? So I just took the CD, wrote Shock Therapy, because I'd gone to a couple of churches and I was turned down. Like, oh, I'd like the pastor to listen to this thing, some music, it's new, blah, blah, blah. Like, sorry, we don't really... They'll say, you have Faith A Praise. Because that was the reigning cassette there, Faith A Praise. If you know Faith A Praise, or Unlimited Praise by Faith A. Then and during that time we were still in Bible school then. So I would go from the Bible school. It was in Ikoyi, we're staying in Keja. So I'll just go to Cool FM, sit down, and wait till Dan Foster is passing. At least he will finish his radio program. At least this is where he will follow to go to his house. So I just blocked him and gave him the CD. He looked at it, he said, I'm not going to listen to it. I don't care what's in it, even if you featured Michael Jackson. But because the packaging is not right, you just wrote with pen, I'm not going to listen to it. I went to Cool Cafe, went online, designed a flyer. To put just took one of our pictures, designed cover. I printed it out, put the cover there, went back, stayed another couple of hours. It was passing again, gave him the CD. He said, okay, I'll give this a listen. And he couldn't stop playing, just kept playing over and over again.
This CD here you're talking about was Shock Therapy, right?
Yeah, that was Shock Therapy.
Okay.
Because we're done Be Afraid, we're done Dark Side. It didn't go anywhere. But when we did Shock Therapy, there was now a gist. So one writer for Fame magazine wrote an article like these guys are from America. Somebody taught them how to speak Yoruba in prison in America. And they sang in Yoruba and they're so good. And he did an article, put our picture there. And I did not argue with him. I just left the gist to be flowing. So they're like, oh, you guys. So until they meet us face to face, I'm like, oh, America, I'm not going there. I don't even know where they used to follow to America. But so eventually, the music started going around. Because I believe that good music is good music is good music. No matter what. Once you hear good music, everybody wants to on it.
Interesting, man. God bless Dan Foster, because I actually believe that Dan Foster really, God bless his soul. He really pushed the sound of urban gospel, the urban gospel sound as well in a good way. Now let's talk about production, because I'm thinking about all your body of works, and most of them were produced by if I can use the word mainstream producers. We had an interview on the show with T-Babs the other day, and there's this wave of producers now, even within this space. So it's like a whole ecosystem right now. But at this time, I don't think there were really any producers dedicated. No.
The producers back then were Christians. Mm-hmm. There was Mr. Dazzle, what's his name? But he did more for Infinity. There was no one doing our sound. There was what's his name? There was really nobody doing our sound. And I won't. Back then, I didn't particularly categorize Adi Kabasa as a Christian. I didn't even know it was Christian until later on. But there wasn't really anyone. I mean, we had to go all the way to Abuja with a guy called G Links.
Wow.
Gold Links, who did some of our hip hop songs. He's produced for Mode 9 and the rest of them. Mm-hmm. So we had to Cobams, we knew Cobams was Christian. I mean, we met in Unilag and all of that. But we had, as at that time, he had done more mainstream work for Maintain, Charlie Boy, and the likes of the rest. But nobody really.
Because I will agree, because we couldn't have had such at that time too, because the volume or the frequency of people doing Christian music wasn't that high. So
and the Christians would not pay. I mean, Cobams were the first people. Rooftop MCs were the first to pay Cobams his full money when we did Shock Therapy. He was so excited, he gave us 2 more beats. And my producer was, my manager was like, no. This Shock Therapy song is costing us too much. It's costing us too much. And we recorded at the Real Mix Studios. Yeah. The Real Mix Studios was one of the most expensive studios, but we had to go there as studio rats. Mm-hmm. So we're like, okay, we'll work for a couple of months to afford sessions. True.
You did something with Echo FM at some point where you...
Yeah, I had a radio show on Echo FM for about 3 years.
Okay. I remember that. Okay, now talking about Cobams, Asuko, you guys seem to have a great chemistry with your music. I mean, your music, we can't really talk about your music without talking about Cobams, Asuko. Because you produced some of your greatest records. And there was this synergy that worked. Like... even a song like Lagimo, where he even didn't just produce alone, he actually featured on the song. So there was this synergy. What was that like for you guys?
I think, first of all, why we connected, because we're friends. We connected first as friends. And, we've been through some of the seasons together, his seasons, our seasons, we've all been through stuff together. So we connect as friends. And some of these songs come when we're goofing around. The songs like, we're just the shock therapy was like he was playing on the piano and he's like, imagine Backstreet Boys with Pasuma Wonder, Linkin Park, and the Rakim all together in one song. So he was not playing on the piano and we were just rapping and we're like, okay, you know, that's how we started working on shock. Like, let's record this thing, I mean. You know, and that's how we did it. That same night was when we did we were playing around with Slagimo also. But we never recorded like even Aeroplane that same night. But we recorded Shock Therapy about 3 or 4 years later. That's when we recorded Lagimo. And Aeroplane came about for another 4 years later.
Let's talk about how do I put it now? Let's talk about Afrobeats as it is today, because Afrobeats itself is a journey. I mean that, you know, Nigeria, West Africa generally can trace back to these early days, like the mid 90s and stuff. But it wasn't like it sounds. It wasn't like it sounds today. But like you rightly said, you guys were bringing rap and alternative rock and Fuji and all of that and just mixing it all up together. Afrobeat itself is about that fusion, that coming together of all these things and still making it sound. I mean, the percussions, hearing this African, maybe adding the gong gong and, you know, all those conga and all those sounds to give it that rich percussion. So for you, and not just for you, for Rooftop MCs and for every Nigerian artist at the time, what led to the Afrobeats that we celebrate today, at this time, when Rooftop MC started, it was hip hop, and a lot of people were trying to sound like the Americans. You know, like the hip hop that we're hearing, we're just trying to sound like it and everything. And then I'm sure you must have noticed the evolution of this sound with time. For Rooftop MC's music and for the general space of Christian music, because we have to talk about the likes of Midnight Crew, for example, and the likes of Fuji, Dekunle Fuji, and
Dekunle Fuji.
You know this guy. So the hip hop was kind of like the big deal at the time, but there were other genres as well, and people doing stuff. Jeremiah Gyang and all these folks that were pushing.
Mose,
yeah,
EDM.
Yeah, and now it's all kind of like coming together in a way that, in fact, there was a point that people started saying, hip hop is dead. You know, nobody they rap again. You know, that guys, everybody don't they sing now. All your favorite rappers don't they drop melody.
Don't they?
You know? What was that journey like for not only Rooftop MCs, but the general, from what you've observed from the general community of urban Christian music?
Well, I think, like you're saying, the hip hop in itself is a genre that always borrows from every genre. Okay. If you look at even classic hip hop songs, most of the songs are samples, interpolations and things just mixed to create. But one thing about hip hop is hip hop remains hip hop. You can add Afro, Juju, everything. But if you see from how music is, I mean, in the days of early days of Nigerian music, to the days of Tony Ade, Obe, and rest of them, you notice that their style of music, everyone always comes with a sound. So nowadays we say this is synchro system. Everybody tries to define their own sound. We used to think that Shino Peter was ridiculous with Afro Juju. I was like, wait, Afro Juju is already African. So why are you saying your sound is Afro Juju, African Juju? you know, but it was his sound, something to identify by. Fela created Afro beats as a music of rebellion, retaliation, to express how he feels. So when we were doing what we were doing, we really didn't have a name for it. We didn't know what to call it. All we knew is we take the music the sounds that we like, and we blend it into something that we enjoy and everyone will like. So we take the Afro Juju, we take Juju, we take rock, we take all of that and blend it into something. So we kept on going. A group came out, Clergyman and the Midnight Crew. and they came up with their Fuji. I was like, oh, later Clergyman left and it was Midnight Crew, and they really blew it into another level. So the industry was growing. The church, and one thing you asked a question earlier, one thing about the church is what we have realized is, for one problem is Rooftop MC, we spend so much time trying to let the church know that we too are spiritual, hello, we're Christians. because we wanted to be accepted by our people, even though, because I didn't send you to them. So, but we still wanted to prove that, look, we're still on the same team because of all the backlash and all that. But we move on. So there were different people coming out with different sounds and trying to merge. It's like, can I be myself? Because I'm of the school of thought that hip hop is not an American concept. Because in Africa, especially in Yoruba, we have their Kiwis. We have, Yoruba people speak in metaphor. We have our language, and we're like, and we bring our language into it. That's why we did a song called Tales from the Unexpected. And from beginning to end, it was in Yoruba. And then the only guy that really did Yoruba rap was the guy in America in UK called AY.
Oh yeah, AY.
That was AY. Are we gonna make it? That was before. Later on, The Green came, Olamide, and the rest of them. So we really thought, look, let's express ourselves. So I mean, we had Nikki Lauye coming up with "Never Felt This Way Before."
It was
So she was. I was like, oh, another few.
Another sound.
With rock, bringing our rock and all that, and also incorporating a dance. And we were also able to enter mainstream with that. So what we realized is that good music is good music, and music evolves. And as it's evolving, evolve with it, but still be authentic.
Yeah. And that's what we're seeing today.
I just like I went around.
Yeah. Because thinking about it, there's this, even the Yoruba rap, the gospel music has actually experienced its own version of that. I remember even Elsie Beats, when Elsie Beats started, came through, he was doing a lot of Yoruba hip hop kind of thing. And then we had the likes of even Obaringi. When Obaringi started off, he started off as a rapper, rapping with Yoruba bars and stuff like that. Then we had the Igbo guys. There was Nolly, and then there was
Nolly.
Kella Trios just rapping.
Okay, Kella Trios.
Would you say that the Afrogospel, in your observation, would you say that we are mirroring pop culture in terms of what seems to be happening, like the sound that seems to be making the waves, and then we're like, what, everybody's going this direction, let us make something since everybody's listening to this sound, let us create this sound but with godly content?
I personally feel the sound itself was given to Christians first, but we did not give ourselves the permission to do it. We felt like, how would they accept it? Oh, we pray a lot. We do a lot of procrastination. Like, oh, let me pray about it. Oh, let me see. But the thing, God gave the sound.
Wait, sorry. What did you call that?
The sound is out there. Procrastination.
Sorry, I had to just I needed to catch that.
But you use I'll pray about it to cover up the fact that you're afraid.
Oh gosh.
So I believe we're given that sound. There was a meeting we had one time with Pastor Tony Rappo. He used to meet with artists and we'll have breakfast and just talk. And he said, there's a sound I hear. I don't know how to express it because I was trying to explain it to us. Then Two-Face now did a song. I can't remember what song it was, but like, that's the sound I'm talking about.
Wow.
Like, so the thing is, there's a sound that is released in the air. And whoever is spiritual enough to catch it and bold enough to go for it. So what we did with shock therapy was like, we knew we was going to come from. We were hearing all sorts of, nobody will accept this song. Nobody's going to like this song. If you even shoot a video for it, well, we kept on. So, but it was a point in time where we start second guessing ourselves. or started because there was so much backlash from the church saying, "I know you guys," because we're so creative. Our very first album, the intro was really, "She nothing. You have just bought an empty CD." I took the CD to a Christian record store. Like, "Oh, I want you guys to sell this," and they played it. The person there is, "You have just bought an empty CD." They said, "Sorry, we can't sell it because it's empty." I was like, "Did you listen to track 2? Did you skip to find out if it's actually empty?" He said, "But you said it was empty." So what I said, So the thing is, we don't allow ourselves to. God, we serve a God of creativity. I took my children to the aquarium close to our house, and we're just watching the fishes. And I was just saying to them that, is there really a point for this fish that has so many colors, that glows and all that? Sometimes not necessarily. God just wanted to show himself. So allow God to show himself through you. Be creative and let your creativity express who you are in God. Where the Spirit of God is, there's liberty. And that means where the Spirit of God is allowed to be Lord, there is liberty. So if God is Lord of you and everything that you do, accept your creativity with your full chest. So what happens is we slow down on it. Somebody else picks up on it who is not Christian. And then we're like, oh. So that now gives us validation. Okay. Yeah. Let's do our own. We see in a Christian way. But if we're stepped out with it, and also another thing is, there was a time that the hip hop and rock, all those stuff was reigning, quote unquote, and now it's like everybody wants to jump on the worship, and everybody wants to do it. Everybody wants to stand behind the piano and do worship, which is great. I love atmosphere. I mean, just before this interview, I was playing. Is this what's this Thompson guy? He does this worship thing. Yeah, I mean, I like atmosphere worship. Okay. I mean, even Nicky was recording one lately. But the song that got me really deep into worship was "It Talks in the Light." I was behind the chapel of Unilag and having a conversation with God, and just bust out singing, "Tell me what's going on inside of me," and just worshiping with rock. Sometimes in church, I start to freestyle. That's what I'm used to. That's how I communicate with God. So, but we need to understand that even if the church doesn't accept what you're doing, as long as God is one who has called you to it, we need to get to a point. We started this conversation from when God said, "Let there be light," and it will continue till when God says, "Let's off the light." Church might not always accept or support what we do. We need to face the one who has called us to blow us, quote unquote.
Right. Church might not always accept us, but we just need to keep it going. And
yeah, it depends on who did he send you to?
Say again?
Sorry? I said it depends. Who did he send you to? I mean, there's certain people who have sent to the body to edify the body, to build up the body. And some people have been sent out there. Go ye into the world. So always build as is shown you on the mount. We'll have people who can come and dissect and tell you with scripture and quotes, tell you out of God's calling for your life. But really, what did he tell you? It might contradict what some people will say to you, but what did he tell you? I was in a conversation where Limo Blaze and some other people were on space, and they were talking about the Christians charge for events and whatnot. And some guys were spilling some very deep theological nonsense. And it wasn't off point, like it wasn't off the Bible, but it wasn't what God has asked certain people there to do. So people are being talked out of their destiny because it doesn't flow with certain people's theology. And that is why we have a generation we're not catering to. It was easy for our generation and probably generation after us who were raised in church. We know the meaning of lift up holy hands. I don't even know the meaning of married clay. Protect was playing one of his songs to me, and he said he took me from the married clay. I said, "Wait till the married clay." Do you know? Have you been there before? Do you know the meaning? I said, "Because I don't know." Why don't you speak what you understand instead of saying Christianese? I don't know the meaning of married clay. Take me from trenches. I understand. I understand what trenches, because I've been to trenches. So why don't we? So there's a section of people who were raised with lamba, who were raised on the streets, and we need to use lamba to bring them to the lamb. That's it.
I see you. I see what you did right there. Okay, let's talk about this new wave, or this new crop of artists, or this new sound of Afrogospel, which is also being exported. I have a radio show that airs on over 10 radio stations, most of them outside of Africa, where I play Afrogospel songs. And the feedback I get all the time, I mean, it's clear to tell that just like Afrobeats is the sound that has been appreciated across the world, the sound Afrogospel, I mean, Afrobeats with the gospel lyrics and all of that is also very well appreciated. So the sound has been exported. The frequency is also increasing. The creativity is also, I mean, we have more tools, more distribution platforms. There's a lot of opportunities that now are available that did not exist before. So Rooftop MCs, okay, before I come to Rooftop MCs, just generally talking about this new crop of Afrogospel sounds and artists coming out there, what are your observations, and what can you say about this new, this new era?
I love it. I love it so much. Everyone that knows me knows that when they come to my house, I have a lot of people come over to my place, and the first thing I do is I sit them down, I play them Angelo. I've introduced so many people to Angelo. They be like, this Angelo, they paid for this. I play Protect. I play Limo Blade, all these guys. And I believe it's great. I tell people that, look, these guys can match your mainstream artists bar for bar, creativity for creativity. You know how difficult it is to consistently write creative music without cursing, without swear words, and every track is different from the other. These guys, all they need is exposure. They need the exposure. They need Malachi. If they have small Malachi, so I love, by Malachi I mean money. So I love the sound. I love what I hear. I like what I hear, and I wish there was more unity. I don't know, maybe I'm just speaking out of turn, but there's more that could be done if they could all come together and just keep doing stuff. But I like the frequency, I like the energy, I like what's coming out. And I just hope that, I mean, Christ is still the center. As Christian artists, can easily sing about Jesus, but we'll realize that we're creating him in our own image after our likeness.
Sure. And as this,
so I think I love what I hear. So.
Great. I absolutely do as well. I don't know what the. I don't know what this. What I don't know what the campus settings is like in Nigeria right now. So I might not be in the best position to actually say what I'm about to say, but remembering how this campus movement used to be back then for me, and maybe every millennial might be able to relate with this, it wasn't just Rooftop MCs, it was general, the whole, the campuses was one of the major points through which the music was distributed. So you have to go on like a campus store, because if you're able to touch the north, the east, the west, the south, the major universities there, boy, you don't toll, you don't, in fact, you never.
Oh, that's what we did.
You don't blow. So, and I remember in my school back then, I remember when you came to my school.
Which one? What school was that?
What?
What school?
University of Agriculture, Abeokuta.
Oh, yeah.
I remember very clearly. I mean, it was even it was one of my friends' house that did launch to you guys or something like that. And I remember everything. And the day of the night's gonna go. And it used to be at night, those nights.
Yeah.
And you did all your. And they say, this guy, if this guy go fall one day from this. Okay, wait. We're still talking about campuses, but let's talk about that energy you put into. Okay, by the way, guys, if you guys didn't know, let me paint a picture as to one of his signature stunts during his performances. So
Yeah,
himself
don't.
and So Clever on stage, right? They're rhyming, they're jumping, they're performing, and next thing, now this campuses, right? We used to have this MPB, multi-purpose building. Yeah, multi-purpose buildings. Large hall with tables, right? Tables with chairs that come along with them. They're static tables, right? And next thing, you just see So Clever just go boom. He just goes and starts.
Snatcha.
He's rapping with the mic and he's going pa 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 pa. I'm like, oh my god. Mama ima shubu. So before we come back to the campus thing, please quickly tell us about this routine of yours, which you did over and over and over and over and over again. I don't know if you fell once, but I did. The news did not reach me. But tell us about it.
I think, like I said earlier, it was when OJB said that, while I swag, and I felt like my office was being affected. So I also wanted to, and I didn't like the fact that the crowd was all the way there, I'm all the way back there. It felt like, let me talk to you, So every time, there were times when there was a particular time I climbed a scaffolding. I think it was at Port Harcourt's Mega Jams or Experience Jam or something like that. I climbed the scaffolding and I did the rap. Then I was thinking, hey, how do I come down? So
you don't carry yourself go place where you don't know.
And there was a time we had a concert. It was at the Akon concert, the Akon one or the one concert we had at Eco Hotel. I poured water into the crowd and I threw the bottle into the crowd. And after the show, one man came with his son and said, "Your bottle hit my head." I was like, I'm sorry, sir. I love it. I said, okay. I was like, oh, okay. Because I just thought, hey, it was different. And one thing we had, especially when we do mainstream shows, is I know, like, okay, everybody is thinking, oh my God, look at this main artist, look at that artist, who are Christians and all that. And usually Christians will come like, hey, we're not worthy to be here. I come with look, you people will remember me today.
Yeah.
You will not forget me. You will not forget the things that I say. Then the Holy Spirit will do the rest.
Yeah.
So we just used to attack it with fig. Like, let's go. And, so Clever had the gentle persona. I had the crazy persona. And
that really
so to show that God has different babies.
Yeah. It was very complimentary. Like both of you just, they... Okay, so let's get back to the campuses, because I don't know if the model has changed, but I don't think that campus tour thing is still something that really happens. And I'm not even saying only Christian music, but music generally. I like I said, I'm not very sure about it, but I think it was a very, very good way to reach out to the youth on a large scale at the time. So what do you think of that? Because a lot of people are focusing digitally now, and I don't know if
I feel, even generally, in terms of the gospel, I feel that revivals, revolution starts in campuses back in those days. Everything. I mean, we had I was in the Rock Foundation. That's House on the Rocks Fellowship. There was Sovereign Army, and there was Christ Embassy had theirs. The Deeper Life people had theirs. MFM people had theirs. Then we had groups like Spirit of David that had like 20-something campuses.
Yeah.
We had Faith Bond. We had Exousia in Ibadan. We had all those. So I realized that my campus fellowship days shaped me spiritually, and the effect was also felt outside, and I don't see it today. I think the church that used to support the campus fellowship are focusing on other things. They're not focusing on the campus fellowship as they should or as they used to. And also because then when we released our first album, the first plan, I've never heard of Okada before, but our very first tour was at Igbinedon University, Okada, in Edo State. We went to Okada. We did our first tour there. Went to Ilorin. We went to Belkuta. We went to Ayangba. I've been hearing Ayangba girls on radio. I didn't know that Ayangba is actually a place in Kogi State. We went to the uni there. We went to places that I've never heard of. We went to Suka. We just went around, and we were self-funded. We just, so the money we got from Igbinedon University, we took it to Ibadan to shoot. They do the Ibadan show at Redeemers University. Went to UI. So we kept going round and round and round. But I don't see it anymore.
Yeah.
Even I was talking with Nikki the other day, and we were talking about the music. I remember the days that we used to have to physically take our CDs to radio stations and sit down with the presenters, talk, chat up with them, become friends with them. Now all you have to do is just email everyone. There's no personal relationship. I mean, I like that vibe. And you can become a quote unquote famous streamer you're famous on Spotify, but nobody knows you in Yaba. But yes, your music goes further, but as a Christian artist, I just feel that personal one-to-one is still very important.
Still lacking, yeah.
It's lacking. Because we'll do shows and we'll wait after the shows to meet the people we just ministered to. Oh, let's talk. How did you find it? Oh, what line hit you the most? Okay, so how can I pray with you? How can we connect? It's really not there anymore. Now it's sliding into DMs and whatnot.
Yeah. And
fire emojis.
I see that happen. What did you say? Sorry?
I said we replaced that personal interaction with emojis and praying hands emoji, fire emoji, smiley face.
Oh my!
But hey, that's where we are.
I agree with you though that my campus experience actually shaped my life, and I really do hope that the campuses are actually being looked into as well too. Let's before we wrap it up, let's talk about some of the big stages, right? I know you guys have been on the experience before.
Yes,
right? Maybe even more than once.
No, it was once.
Okay, once.
It was 2009. Okay. And I don't think any other rap. It's not. I don't think no other rap group has been there. It's just been this. I was like, I need more guys. I need to. There are people. There are Rooftop MCs around, but there are guys though. There's Protect. There's Angelo. And they will rock the stage. Limo will scatter the stage. Bring these people down not just because they have great stage antics and they have good songs, because their music is important to a generation. It's important. I feel that, yes, shout out to the worship and the slow music, the praise, that style. Mm-hmm. I mean, we all do worship. It's all worship music because it's unto our Father. But shout out to all those who do that style. But there's a generation that needs to be represented. And, they'll be like, there's really nothing for me in certain events this year. So I'm going to stay home. Or, okay, we'll just come and sing to this song. We just sing to then go back. We need to do more work. Because, I see these people and I hear the kind of music they listen to. Like, I know boys, we go floor this still as a
I know that feeling, yeah. Oh my! We can go on and on. I think we're gonna have like a second part to this, because there's so much to talk about. However, people think, oh, Rooftop MCs broke up, or they split. I know there was a time that you guys were quiet for a while. There's new music that's out now. Yourself, I keep saying Snatcha. Yourself, So Clever, and
X-Blaze.
Yourself, So Snatcha, and X-Blaze. So that's out, made away. Good sound. We're happy to hear back from you guys. But can you tell us quickly before we wrap it up as to what we should expect from Rooftop MCs? What we should expect from you? I know there was a time there was some Rooftop Clan. Yeah. So just tell us real quick, what should we expect?
Yeah, real quick. I think why we created Rooftop Clan was because we wanted to let people know that we didn't break up or we're still together. But because what happened is God just wanted us to deal with us individually. And so after a while, we wanted to still make music, but under as Rooftop Clan. So, but what's happening right now is I released Make a Way is a single. It's actually Snatcha featuring Rooftop MCs.
Okay.
So it's my project is called I Just Got Back From a Lot. I have a project, I Just Got Back From a Lot, and Make a Way is the first single from I Just Got Back From a Lot. and yes, but it's giving Psalm 126 vibes, which is he that goes whipping shall come back bringing back the sheep. So the next song that will be coming out is the song with every so called promo. God, they do promo. So in case you have to go and join in now because Baba they do promo, miracles everywhere. Yaburata, God is doing a bonanza. So
Wow.
so I'm going to just play around with different genres. But for Rooftop MCs, we've decided that we want to come back, but we want to come back, like you said, with Cobams. And so I've been still trying to toast Cobams, who's been really busy. But really, we're looking forward to doing something our anniversary this year. Rooftop will be 24.
Wow.
It's 23,
September,
24
right?
years this year. So we want something for our anniversary. So we'll probably have a concert in Nigeria for that.
Ooh. Okay.
But fingers
Okay.
crossed. Yeah,
Looking
but
forward
we're
to that.
definitely working on the comeback.
Ah, nice. Sounds good to me. Thank you so much for being our guest on the show today. Now you're married to an artist as well. How does that feel, by the way?
It feels good. I mean, because we encourage each other, we promote each other, talk about things with each other and all that. And of course, it's like, how far that when are you releasing the song? Yeah, I want to release the song next week. You go clash with my own song, but I will push it more. So that's what we're having to deal with. I like, but your song don't affect my song now. So that's the conversation we're having.
Nice.
But I mean, I'm also working on doing things. We're in talks. I don't know if we're in talks of having a music festival over here in Southend.
Nice.
Hopefully it's probably going to be an urban music festival. So
there is a lot in the works.
We're thinking about.
I love the sound of that.
Yeah,
a lot in the works. Well, thank you so much for sharing with us. We appreciate your time.
Thanks so much for having me.
The only Snatcha of Rooftop MCs with us in the building. And we look forward to the album. I Just Got Back From a Lot.
Yes. I just got back from a lot. Yes, sir.
Bye.